There is a move most men never learn. Not because it's hard, because it looks like weakness, it looks like giving up, it looks like nothing. The Stoics called it the most powerful thing a man can do in certain moments, and they were right, because in a world that never stops demanding action, the man who knows when to be still is the man no chaos can reach. We are addicted to action. Not because action is always right, but because stillness feels like failure, like you're not doing enough, like the world is moving and you are falling behind, so you act, constantly. Even when acting makes things worse. The man who cannot be still cannot think clearly. The man who cannot stop cannot see. He is always responding, always reacting, always in motion, and he never steps back far enough to see whether the motion is pointed anywhere worth going. Most of the messes men find themselves in were made by acting too soon, by saying the thing before the thought was finished, by moving before the picture was clear, by filling the silence because the silence was uncomfortable. The cost of compulsive action is enormous. The Stoics saw it. They built an alternative. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth, and he practiced stillness deliberately. Before major decisions, he paused, he wrote, he sat with the question before he answered it. Not because he was slow, because he understood that the quality of an action depends entirely on the quality of the stillness it emerges from. The Stoics used an image, muddy water. You cannot clear it by stirring it. You must leave it still. The sediment settles on its own. The mind works the same way. The clarity you need is already there. The motion is what hides it. Stop. Cato was known for this. The most pressured moments in the Senate, the moments when everyone wanted an immediate answer, he would go quiet, sometimes for minutes. And then he would speak, and what he said had a weight that no hasty response ever carries. Stillness is not emptiness. It is where the real thinking happens. The Stoics also practiced physical stillness deliberately, walking alone, sitting in nature, not to escape, to see. The man in constant motion only sees what is directly in front of him. The still man sees the whole field, and the whole field is where the real decisions live. 3 moves. The first takes courage, not effort. The second is where most men's thinking actually happens. The third is the one that separates the men who are controlled by the world from the men who move it. Move 1. Before you respond, pause. 1 beat. Maybe 5 seconds, maybe a minute. Not because you don't know what to do. Because the best version of what you know needs a moment to surface before the reactive version drowns it. The pause is not hesitation, the pause is the move. Epictetus. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is your power. Most men live in the stimulus. The reaction happens before they even know they chose it. The pause creates the space. The space is where you stop being an effect and start being a cause. 5 seconds of stillness can save a relationship, a deal, a reputation, a decision you cannot undo. Practice it deliberately. Next time something demands an immediate response, don't give one. Pause, breathe, let the first impulse pass. What comes after it is almost always better. Move 2. Take your hardest current problem and give it an hour of uninterrupted stillness. Not research, not planning, not talking it through, sitting with it. Let your mind move around it freely without demanding an answer yet. This is not passive. This is the most active thinking most men never do. Marcus did this every morning. Seneca did it in his garden. They were not escaping the problem. They were giving it the right conditions to resolve. Most problems that seem impossible in motion become obvious in stillness. Because the noise was not outside the problem. The noise was inside the mind examining it. The answer you need is not somewhere else. It is in you already. It just cannot be heard over the sound of constant action. Sit with the question. Stop asking the internet. Stop asking everyone around you. Go still. The answer will come. It always does for the man patient enough to wait for it. Move 3, the hardest. There are situations where the right move is no move, where acting makes it worse, where the wisest thing you can do is withdraw, wait, and let things resolve. Most men cannot do this. The silence feels like surrender. The inaction feels like weakness, so they act, and they make it worse, and then they act again to fix the first action. The Stoics knew not every problem needs your hand in it. Some will resolve on their own. Some need time more than they need intervention. Some are made worse by attention. The man who knows which situations call for stillness, who can hold back the impulse to act, has a power that most men never develop. The power to let things be. It is precision. It takes more discipline to do nothing deliberately than to do something reactively. The reactive man always has an excuse. I had to do something. The still man made a choice. He assessed the situation, he judged that stillness was the move, and he held it. That is mastery. The world will never stop demanding that you act. Immediately, urgently, now. Most of the urgency is manufactured. Most of the immediacy is not real. The man who knows this, who can sit in stillness while the noise demands motion, is the man the noise cannot control. Pause before you act. Sit with the question. Do nothing on purpose when nothing is the move. Stillness is not the absence of power. It is power held in reserve. The man who acts from stillness acts with everything behind it. The man who acts from noise acts with nothing. Today, find one moment where you would normally react and pause for 5 seconds instead. Just one. See what you find in the pause. If this built something in you, subscribe and keep going. But there is one thing the Stoics said cuts even deeper, and it's about what happens when the pain comes and you cannot avoid it. That is where we go next.